Hey guys, Willie James here from Dream House Music. Wanted to cover one of my favorite old school jams, The Battle Is Not Yours by Yolanda Adams. It's in the key of D originally, but I'm going to do it in the key of C. This tutorial is going to be more like a late beginner, right? I want to keep it simple, not too advanced. It's in 1, 2, 3, 4. It's in 6/8 time, right? So we want to get um, we want to do a quick playthrough and then the breakdown, right? So we're going to do it in the key of C, so C chord. So let me just try and cue up the track here and just quickly play the whole song through if I can cue it up and play on time. Okay, so that was a quick playthrough. Let's get through the chords here. So at the very least, you need to know your C major scale. Okay, using the number system 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Okay, and once you know your scale, you should know your diatonic chords built on the scale. So the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7. Okay, you need to know your 7 chords, and the more advanced chords are just variations of those basic chords, right? Those are the starting chords, and we can build upon those. So let's go through the very beginning. So using the number system, what do we hear at the beginning? Let me just play it. Right? So I'm listening to the bass note progression. Okay, and that's just a 2, 3, 4, 5 in the C major scale. Okay, and I wrote it out in the chord chart. Some of you might not need the chord chart. You just want to look at my playing, but that's okay. Okay, so that's a standard gospel walk up. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 to the 5, 5, 6, 7, 1. Okay. What are those chords? Let's go over it, right? So I just wrote out the bass notes in the chord chart, but the D chord is not going to be the diatonic D minor. It's going to be, because remember the 2 chord is naturally D minor, but in gospel they always flat the 5, so the top note, the A, gets flatted. So you shrink it by a semitone to A flat. And we don't play it in this root position. We play it inverted, okay? So that means we're going to put the F on top. And how do we get the F on top? Well, you got to put the D on top first, and then put the F on top. So that's the very first chord that the pianist plays. And on the 3, the E is just a C major in second inversion. So you got these 2 chords. Right? Okay. And then you just go back and forth, right? So the left hand is an F, and the right hand is just the 2 diminished chord again. So and then on the G, right? Remember the Walkups 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just a C chord again, C, E, G. In second inversion. Second inversion means you take the top note of the chord, put it on the bottom. That's all it means. So, bop, 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 bop. Okay. At speed. What's the speed? Let me see. Okay. So notice he's doing it staccato, short, bouncy. Pop, pop, pop. And then after this, we go to a 2. And here's our first kind of advanced chord. So on the 2, it's not going to be a minor, okay? It's going to be what's called a dominant chord. So dominant chords usually have a major triad in the first 3 notes, and then a flat 7 for the 4th note. Okay, so flat 7, what does that mean? Well, when we build chords, we build them using the scale. Okay, so right now we're on a D chord. So the framework of building this chord is using the D scale. So you need to know all your scales in gospel. And in the D scale, we have an F sharp and we have a C sharp, but we're not playing the C sharp here. I know my software is saying D flat. At C sharp, we're playing what's called a flat 7. So the C sharp is the natural 7th in the scale. We drop it to a C, and that creates a dominant 7th. I just say dominant, okay? We're going to take it further. Remember, chords are built in 3s, right? So in the D scale, 1, 3 is F sharp, 1 is D, F sharp is 3, A is 5. We're playing the flat 7. So we skip D8 and we play the 9, which is E. So that's all. So this would be called a D9, okay? D9 chord. And it implies, so a D9 chord is just, you have the regular major triad. It implies the flat 7, the dominant 7, and then you have the 9. So that's what we're playing on the 2. So after the 1/5 to this 2 chord, okay, so I had the D here, but I move it down here, and all I'm going to do, you could keep the A or you could get rid of it. So it creates this open chord here. So don't get confused, all right? Okay, so we're just voicing it differently. Voicing means rearranging the notes. So we take the D down, take out the A, right? Because the chord before that was a 1/5. So you see how the G, so we're coming from a 1/5, so a 5 to a 2. Notice the G here goes to F sharp and the G goes to D. So that's how we fall into that D9 chord. So in context again, me hold it out so you could see 4. So 2, 3, 4, 5 to the 2 dominant 9, or the 2 D9 chord. In the chord chart here, I have a 2 capital D9. Okay, and this chord is gonna drop into a 5 chord very nicely, and then we're gonna walk up 5, 6, 7, 1. That's the rest of the walk up. Okay, so on this 5, 6, 7, 1, you could play simple chords. You could play a G chord. You could play a C over A on the 6. And you could play a D minor in first inversion over the B. So okay, you can slow down, rewind this video if you have to. There's also the MIDI file. Okay, so all together. Okay, and we're not even done yet, because in the track, so that little run there, it starts on the A minor. Okay, this is an A minor chord in first inversion, and all you're gonna do is walk down in semitones. So A minor, A flat minor, G minor to an F major chord. So the melody line is da, da, da. Yeah, after the G minor is F major, falls into the C. Okay, so let me play a little faster. And then walk up from the 5. 5, 6, 7, 1. Ba 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 ba. And I did that holding the C's. You could hold octaves in your left hand. If you've seen me play single notes anywhere in this tutorial, you could always double up with the octaves, right? In the left hand. So if I play like an A, you could just play the A below. Anyway, so that's the whole walk up. Is that the whole walk up? Let's see. Nope, one more. So we gotta, after we 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. That's the other walk up. That's really nice. And this walk up, it's a 1/3. So it's a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Remember that. On the 3 is just a C chord, G, C, E, in second inversion. Okay. Drop the top note. And yeah, let's play on the 4 chord. Instead of a D minor, we're gonna play that D diminished chord. Okay, but in second inversion as well. So okay, and on the G, the 5, we're playing an E minor triad, E, G, B in first inversion. Okay. Okay, and then the G goes to an A, and this chord here, G, B, E, just drop everything to a semitone. Sounds very tense. Or you could do this, diminished. So you could do this chord here, which is a E flat diminished. Okay, inverted. Okay, an E flat diminished is just an E flat minor chord with the top note dropped. Okay, but I inverted it. And then you could go here to the D diminished over B, and this falls into the C. So let's go over that walk up. Or on the A, you could do this as well. Okay. And then so on the B, you could do just a regular D minor as well. Depends on the sound you're going for. So the first way is second way. Okay, whatever you prefer. And with the left hand, I was walking up in single notes. You could just double up on the octaves to make it more powerful. You could slow that down, rewind, and study it. Okay, so that's the progression. So let's go. There is no pain. I'm just gonna do single notes in my left hand just to explain the chords. So there is no pain. Boom. Pianist goes to a 2 dominant 9. So I explained this earlier already. So that's the chord. So there is no pain. 2 dominant 9 to the 5. That's the easy chord. That's just a G chord, Jesus. And then my favorite gospel chord, the 5/4. So what's happening here is this is really a G dominant 7, but with the F on the bottom. Okay, so G dominant 7. In the G scale, F sharp is 7, but we drop it to make it a dominant 7. Okay, the gospel sound is full of dominant 7 chords. So another way to, and so when you put the F on the bottom, you're inverting the chord. They call it an inverted dominant. Just take the F on the bottom. So after the G, the 5 chord, GBD, you just change the left hand to a G over F. So 5/4 in the chord chart, and then 1/3. So a C major over E. Okay, so there is no pain. 2 to the 5. Jesus, 5 over 4. Can feel 1 over 3. Okay, that's just an E, G, C chord over E. And then we have a suspended chord on the C. Okay, so let's explain this chord. Okay, so in gospel, instead of going to straight to a 1 chord, you could put a suspended chord in front of it. So this suspended chord is basically, it's a B flat over C, and in my chord chart I have a flat 7 over C. So what is a flat 7? Based on the number system, we're in the key of C. So a flat 7 is B flat. B is 7, so flat 7 means drop it, so B flat. So that means and so a slash chord, if I didn't explain, when you see a slash, it's the first number is the right hand. So a flat 7 means play a B flat major triad, which you should know, and over 1. So flat 7 over 1 means B flat over C. Okay, but the theory behind it is, well, it's really an extended chord. So it's this. Okay, so C, F, B flat, D. And it's a suspended chord because the distance between C and F is 4. So anytime you have a 4 instead of a 3, it's a suspended chord. Okay, suspended means just add the 4. So in regular chords, you have the 1, the 3, and the 5. If you have the 4, it becomes a suspended 4th. Okay. Now in this case, we didn't have the G, but we had the flat 7, which is a B flat. Okay, so it's like a suspended dominant chord. Okay. And then we add the 9. Okay, D is 9 steps from C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right, so the top 3 notes is just a B flat triad that's inverted. Okay, so you could say it's a flat 7 over 1, or it's a C dominant sus 4. Okay, so that's what that is. And what happens is you resolve this B flat to a C chord. So suspense, resolve. It's used in gospel all the time. So in context here, there is no pain Jesus can feel. Here we go on the chord, suspended, release to the 4. Right, let me see if I could cue up where that suspended chord is. Right here, suspended. Okay, so now the bass player actually did a G, right? So you could have, instead of the C, you could have played a G, which is fine as well. The theory behind it is the G is part of a C chord, so you could just play a substitute bass note. So that's what the bass player did. He played a G. So you could do either, okay? And then resolve to the 1. And then he walks up to the 4. Now, I don't have to walk up in the chord chart, but you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Okay, that's where he walks up on the 4. And the chords for that are 1, that's just a C chord. Okay? This is a 4 over 2, or F major over D. And then a C over E. Hurt, the word hurt is the 4 chord. Okay? So context again. Yeah. Jesus can feel. Here's a suspended chord. Tension. Release. Hurt. Okay, so let me see if I can. Right there, right? So hurt. He cannot heal. So hurt is just a 4 chord. And then 1 over 3. He can't, which is a 2 dominant 9, which you already explained. This is the patterns that I'm talking about. So the 2 dominant 9, usually after that is going to be a 5. That's like a pattern. Anytime you have a 2, you go to a 5. If you've heard of a 2-5-1, that's what that is, right? The 2 chord resolves to a 5 chord. Okay. Here we go. Suspended chord, release, walk up. There's a 4 chord now, 1/3. Here's our 2 dominant to the 5. So the keyboardist went back to that suspended chord on the C, the B flat over the C. And he's just gonna walk up back to the 4. Okay, so let me rewind a little bit. Okay, so all things work is that walk up we talked about. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so work, and here's our gospel diminished 7th chord. Okay, my favorite chord. What is it? It's